There we go. Got it. Anyways, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry that took me so long. I was having some real bot troubles there for a moment. Hope everybody's doing all right. I've been busy today, doing a little bit of networking and trying to get our next phase of our marketing rolling. We definitely took some hits with some of the past marketing that we've done. Even this last video, I haven't had a chance to speak openly of the last video that we just did. It was from Classy Crypto. It was something that I was really, really looking forward to, and I'd heard amazing things. I never watched that guy's channel or participated with any of that guy's content, um, but community members had made me aware of the individual, and then Nick Henry himself was pretty hyped about it. I had actually talked to that individual like previously from whenever I was attached to a different project. I was just kind of like a behind the scenes dev, and me and Classy had actually talked then, and I wasn't even aware of it until we decided to talk about a video for MetaBUSDCoin. So that was another thing that made me feel like decent about it because I had previously talked to this individual like a while back. Um, so it told me that he did his due diligence then, and that he would do his due diligence now, and he clearly didn't. He didn't cover any of the talking points that I had requested for him to talk about, and this is even after like me and him had private conversations about it, and I went as far as to actually um, give him notes like, "Hey, man, these are the things I want you to hit on. Of course, do your own thing. Um, all of you here, y'all know me. I'm really big on letting an artist in any format, whether that be who draws or paints, or a content creator, or a developer, even who writes code. You let them do their own thing. They create the way that they create. Try to give them guidance, but they know what works for their audience and for their craft. So I always give anybody that's making stuff for us like a good little bit of leeway. Long story short, I was disappointed with that video and that coverage. It was okay. It was, his version of an honest review and so on and so forth. But for somebody who did do as much like private, um, at least spent time privately speaking with me and getting more information about the project, to see him not utilize that information was kind of upsetting for sure. That being said, I spent some time reflecting on that after that video came out and just trying to decide what I want to do. And with the market being the way it is, I'd already talked about how, hey, we're probably going to put a halt on spending uh, much of our marketing money until we know for sure the exact right steps in the right directions. That being said, there's a couple like larger, better YouTubers that have personal connections to this project themselves, and we're already in the process of getting them to produce more content for us and do more ongoing coverage. So I think right now our goal is to be focused on just making sure that we get all of our stuff taken care of and in a row that will facilitate and allow them to do that coverage and have that deal worked out moving forward. We know that that coverage will be a lot better. It'll be honest. It'll actually be in depth on what the project is and what we're about compared to all of this coverage that we've been getting. We're a pretty tight knit little group here. I talk to most of you guys every single day in these AMAs, so I can be pretty like blatantly honest with you. So one of the very first things I did this morning, whenever I woke up, is I hit up mobile trades. Yeah, Chris, um, hey man, you gotta help me out here. Uh, the coverage that I'm getting right now, even the stuff that I'm paying for, they're just not doing it right. They're just not getting the right key point down for the project. They're always hitting the wrong thing, or they're just, it's just not right. It's not the right kind of coverage you want. It's not the type of coverage that's going to help the project grow at all. So he immediately like fired back with me. He was like, "Hey, I think the best thing we can do is let's do a live YouTube event. I'm curious to see how it goes. We can try some other stuff too, but let's give this shot first." So we're working that out on when me and him are going to do that together. But at some point over the next couple of days, we'll get a live event going on YouTube. Get me talking, him asking questions, kind of like interview style. Get some other people in there. Try to try to make it pop a little bit. See what we can do from there. And then as well, uh, I I've mentioned the name before. I'm not going to mention it again right this very second. But the other YouTuber that we're working with, he's really big in the Sapien community as well as the Evergrow community. And he, between him and Chris, they've had the most information longer than anyone else. They have like true personal connections to the project for just about before everybody else in here, uh, other than Metalorian and Nick himself. They've known about the project before anybody else. Before I even announced that we were making a token or doing anything like that, these are individuals who understand what I was developing, even as far as back then. Whether or not like we were in constant communication about it, I was already letting them know and giving them inside information all the way from back then, knowing that I'd want to work with these individuals moving forward and knowing that they would provide the right type of coverage and community that I was looking to gain. So it'll be a good fit. It's been sad that it's taken as long as it has to get the second YouTuber on board, but he had a lot going on in his personal life as well as just busy. Same thing with like Chris. He really just ramped up with as far as unavailability here in the last little bit, which is a great thing for all of these people. It just means that they're doing their jobs properly and they're growing as content creators. And that's something that, like, in both of these individuals, I saw um, a long time ago, even, over a year ago. I knew that both of these guys would end up being much bigger than what they were at the time and continue to grow long into the future. You can just tell sometimes when somebody's got that special gift for content creation. Anyways, let's move on a little bit from marketing. Again, just to recap that, just so everybody who's in here now is just clear. Right now, our current goal is to slow down on the random spending that we've been doing as far as marketing. We keep purchasing these videos from YouTubers that uh, aren't super in depthly aware of what the project is and what they should cover, and they're not covering it right. So we're not going to continue to make those purchases, and instead we're going to focus on the people that we already have that have been working well for us. We're going to do recap videos with those people, and as well, we're going to bring on some new people that are deeply entrenched in the project itself. That way, the coverage is far better, even if it's less in quantity. It'll be so much higher quality that I believe personally it'll make a real difference for it. I personally don't think I can sit through another 3 or 5 minute video of something that's just complete garbage. And I feel like I've purchased and watched complete garbage now so many times. And sorry, just to clear, Classy Crypto's video was not garbage. It was a decent video. But again, I was highly disappointed that he did not hit on like the things that I suggested. The only things I wanted him to cover in that video, to be honest with you, was like the Brew Labs partnership. Focus on the Flues partnership, focus on the Brew Labs partnership, talk about the farming, talk about how it's available now, and make a push for that. That's the only thing I really cared about. Do a quick overview of what the whole project is altogether, but then focus on what we already have accomplished and what we already have available. And I feel strongly like that the last 3 videos that came out have all essentially said like, oh well, they haven't done anything yet. I'm sorry, that's just not the case. We're only a month old and we've consistently stayed working, stayed updating. We've changed everything that we originally had into better and better things. Um, Continuously kept our community and the outside community updated as well, as far as what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and what we've accomplished so far. We don't operate in the dark at all, so it really makes me upset that for some reason all these people that we pay to cover us for some reason can't get any of the information that we have readily available out to their communities, even whenever we provide the information. Sorry, in my rant now. We will stop using those types of individuals altogether. They just can't take any more of our money. We will not give it to them, and we will put the money in hands of the people that we know can do the job and will do the job. All right. That being said, on to the next thing. Yesterday we talked a little bit about NFTs and adding some added utility into the NFTs. I am still working through that right now. It looks like there is actually no additional cost behind it other than the work itself that goes into adding the metadata and making the new charts for the contract itself. So I'm working through it. I'm trying to get it done as fast as possible. I hope to have updates for you guys here in the next like 2-3 days. No exact promises, but we are closely going to be hitting the ground running on these NFTs, getting them minted and getting them in everybody's hands. Oh, he's fine. Sorry, my son's home with me, and he just came charging at me. Sometimes you can't stop him, but my wife carried him away. Anyways, and the Brew Labs AMA. I know that we were talking about that going on today. There's actually still a good chance that it does go on today. I'm just waiting to hear back from Maverick, and as soon as I do, we might go ahead and schedule that for later on this evening. If nobody's awake or anything like that, I completely understand. I don't expect everybody to try to stay awake just to hit that AMA. Again, I'm going to have scripted questions for them. I understand the things that we need to cover, and I'll make sure that we get all that recorded and put out there. Preference will be to try to knock it out in the morning, so it might be something like a 6 a.m. AMA. Wake up early, grab some coffee, and then jump on an AMA with him. Again, I won't expect anybody to actually have to join or anything like that. More than welcome to. And I wish I actually could get it during like a prime time slot for us. That would work out well. But it's been really hard doing the scheduling. And as I've been working with Maverick this whole time, who is like the top man, that's who their community team wanted me to continue to work with for the AMA. Because I did reach out to their community managers today to see if maybe we could get somebody, because they have team members all over the place. They have team members in like Switzerland and United Kingdom, all over. So I was thinking maybe I could just get one of their team members to come over and answer all the questions, but everybody insisted that I continue to just work with Maverick. So as soon as he gets back to me, I'll get that scheduled. I'll get that posted for everybody. And again, we'll make sure that that's recorded. I'll make sure I've got all the scripted questions put together in case there is nobody here to ask any questions. That way we get as much information straight from his mouth about everything. Now, that being said, I have tried to release better concrete information to everybody over the last 24 hours. So I personally just typed up a little guide. Later on this evening, my wife's going to record like a how-to video. It's like a quick walkthrough of what you need to do if ideally you're already holding Meta and you just need to go from holding Meta to placing into the farm. But we will do a how-to video on that, get that published straight just from our YouTube channel, and we'll share that link throughout the Discord and so on. But I did already put together like just a text written walkthrough on what you need to do. It's fairly simple. It's just a couple easy steps, especially if you're already a holder. If you're already a holder, you just have to have some BNB as well if you want to participate in the farm. You need to click on one link that we have readily available that takes you to a constructor that allows you to create the liquidity without any tax. From there, you take that liquidity pair token and you place it into the farm as a stake LP, and that allows you to harvest MetaBUSD coin moving forward, as well as BUSD. Anyways, I did put out a detailed explanation on how to do that as well. One of our mod community members put out a really great summary on impairment loss. and breaks it down really, really well. It's from Binance Academy. And if anybody would like to, maybe take a read over that just so you have a firm understanding of what's going on. I'll preference that with he commented right below it, and as well I did, that currently that the yields are just so drastically high that it will offset just about any impairment loss that you would see. Um, Again, I'm extremely transparent, and I like to be as upfront with everyone as possible. You just need to pay attention on what your insurance price was, what you mainly need to take into consideration, what you entered the liquidity pool at. Price goes too high or too low. Either way, you need to unstake, unpair, repair, and restake, or not. That's whatever you choose to do. And but again, the swings that you would have to see would have to be like fairly significant swings. You'd have to like see a like 2 to 3x on, or probably a 2x. You'd have to see a 2x one way or the other in order for you to have a justified impairment, for you to even take notice. Um, and that being said, if I can try to advise anybody who is farming while they're farming on how to handle those situations, I will to the best of my ability. But it's definitely something that you need to do your own research on as much as possible, and then pay attention to your holdings personally and make sure that you're handling those situations correctly. Uh, I've harped on it a lot, and I don't want to scare people, but I also want to make sure that people are educated and making the proper decisions. That being said, I think I might have been like the first person to farm, or one of the first 5 to start farming, and I'm farming now. I haven't touched it. It's looking fantastic. I'll probably leave it in there indefinitely. I might unstake and restake at some point once we start zooming again, just to make sure that I don't encounter any crazy impairment. But again, I wouldn't even worry about it until it was like a 2 or 3x up, and then I would just unstake, unpair. Don't just unstake, unstake, unpair your liquidity, and repair your liquidity. The staking itself has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that you're holding a liquidity pair. That liquidity pair, no matter where it's at, or, well, sorry, it does have something to do with it. The farm itself is what actually changes your ratio of what that liquidity is worth. So whenever you exit from that pool, um, I guess you could just exit and restake. But either way, I would exit, unpair, repair, restake. And again, you don't need to worry about that until it's like 2, 3x, one way or the other, either up or down. And when that time comes, just act accordingly and make sure that you're monitoring that kind of stuff if it's something that you're participating in. In the meantime, it's definitely the one of the best ways, if you're just holding that value anyways, of locking the value and receiving more for your locked value. Only way that you can receive extra MetaBUSD coin currently without actually purchasing it outright. So that's a huge benefit. Anyways, is there any questions from anybody within the community this afternoon? Or this evening, I should say. For me, at least. Awesome. Nick, how you doing, man? You're muted right now. Are you sleeping? Are you laying in bed? Oh, I scared him away.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You really want to know how I'm doing?
What do you
I
just?
feel stupid right now. I'm so dumb.
What did you
I
do?
thought I staked yesterday. I didn't stake or farm.
Oh, did you just create liquidity?
That's exactly what I did. I created liquidity and didn't go any further. And I'm like, man, he's talking about how awesome his farm's doing. I don't have anything. I'm stupid.
That's
I am 100% stupid. That is user error. Guys, you create the LP and you got to put it in. Don't miss that last step. Don't do everything else and miss the last step.
Hey, it's not just you. That was like one of the questions in the main chat this morning. Was like somebody who had gotten that. like, all right, am I done? I'm like, sorry, but you're almost there. You got a little bit more ways to go. There's one last step. Go and stake the
Yeah,
LP into the farm.
yeah. And
Now,
I've been slammed today, so I haven't even really got to see chat or anything else. I probably would have caught that, but
so like,
yeah,
yeah,
just caught it.
I haven't checked recently. I just don't even look at it. But all I put in at the time, 'cause it's the only meta that I had available currently was point 0.6 BNB, and that 6 BNB uh got me, $6. So that's a plus. Um,
Yeah, well, it's awesome. Like, I mean, it's the whole concept of like staking too. So you're putting your money in, you're putting the stuff that's already sitting in your wallet, you're putting it in, and you're getting rewarded for it.
well, that's
I mean, it's great.
like the real thing that I focused on was the fact that it got me $6 worth of meta while the price was going down on both. And when the price does go back up, because it certainly will, even if MetaBUSD coin didn't didn't sell a single other token, and then within the next couple of days, but BNB just climbed back up, and both of those prices are climbing back up. So my $6 will be worth more than that whenever the price does go back. So that's I don't know. It's exciting to see stuff like that. It's always just numbers and math, and you never know exactly for sure how to go. But if everything goes the way that I think it's gonna go, then this is just I love the idea of farming. Long story short,
Oh
how do
yeah.
you?
Oh, so do I. And it would have been really cool if I was doing it now for over 24 hours.
And you're gonna be farming a lot, aren't you? I
I
mean,
think I have
a lot more than me.
like, yeah, it's 2 point something BNB worth, I think.
Nice, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so not a stupid amount, but I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's small either.
No, no, no. Hey, at one
But,
point that
yeah,
at one
it's
point that was
something
a
good.
lot
Like I
of
said, it's just sitting in my wallet.
yeah. And at one point in BNB that was a lot of money. Maybe
Yeah,
not
so
today. But
it was crazy because like so somebody messaged me and they're like, "Man, the price is really going down." And we hadn't had people sell, but I was like, "Man, you got to look at the price of BNB right now." And they're like, "Why?" Like, well, because we are connected to BNB. If BNB goes down, if Binance or like Bitcoin, all that stuff goes down, there's a good chance everything's going down, and it is. And so I looked at my everything I'm holding right now. BNB is down 10% whenever I looked last. Everything in my wallet was down 9, 10, 11%. So it's all correlated to each other. So yeah, you're right. So if BNB goes up 10%, then we should see a good little spike. But yeah, it was crazy to think about like whenever we started all this. I mean, just before we started this, I think BNB was like over $600, something like that. High fives.
yeah, I mean it was definitely the high fives. I think it might Manny says he can't raise his hand.
Well, shut up,
I
Manny.
I might have muted him. Check to see if he's muted.
I just muted him. That's what you get for talking.
Hey, it happened.
Uh, hold on.
I think what it was is the other day
You accept that? There he is.
we all rolled over to like regular voice chat, and whenever we were in the regular voice chat, things started going crazy and I just started muting people. I think maybe not. You talking, Manny?
No, I just wanted to say what's up.
Oh, what's up, man? What's going on?
Not much, not much.
uh,
Good to see that. Good to see that we have a good, strong community holding. So that's very.
well, I mean, that's the one thing that we probably focused on the most starting off was building that base community, and it's something that I'm really proud of myself for. Um, there's a couple of things within the project that I've personally kind of stumbled on, and I haven't necessarily knocked out of the park my first try. I think everybody remembers a couple of those launches I had. Um, that being said, the community building function, and as far as just general community outreach and engagement, I think that having that strong focus really early on and carrying it forward has definitely been crucially beneficial to this project in itself. Um, we definitely need to work on our team outreach altogether and reaching new communities and engaging with new communities. A lot of it has been just the fact that our team's not giant and that we've spent so much time actually working on the project itself. Um, True development going on behind the scenes on a daily basis. So having to separate your time in between the actual hard development and doing the community engagement and outreach has been a tough balancing act. Um, with the general market behaving the way it is right at this moment, it kind of like actually gives us a little bit of breathing room to focus uh, on certain tasks at a given time. So I'm in a small way, I'm kind of pleased with our current situation. I really need to buckle down to make sure that I get these NFTs out correctly on the very first try. Um, so that's where a lot of my primary focus is now. I had to switch gears a lot on the farm itself. There was a lot of learning that I had to do, and there was a lot of actual like small issues and problems behind the scenes that nobody here was aware about that kept me up really, really late on a lot of evenings, working out contract errors between the what turns out to be four contracts that we're dealing with. Two of them are still offline, the staking pools, because we're not launching those until I can put the liquidity in them. But the farm itself, the constructor, and then my contract for the token, all interacting with each other, and there was giving some errors. The way that I wrote the code to move the liquidity in and out of the router is different than the constructor code originally. So long story short, a lot of work that was going on behind the scenes, taking up a lot of time. Uh, Stuff like that's always going on and always happening. So I know sometimes it seems like the dev team's a little, stagnant as far as some of the social channels go, and that's something that I am focused on changing right now. But I do just want to mention that a lot of times, guys, it really is because or especially me for sure. I am working on something. I'm knees deep into something 24/7. Even right now, while I'm having this AMA, I've got uh, a dev from another project that everybody here is aware of, constantly hitting me up right now in the background. We're going through code line by line, trying to make sure that they're ready for their launch. Um, these things happen, and I definitely have been working more and more lately on creating the proper level of juggling per se to make sure that I'm focused on a little bit of everything that needs to be focused on at that time. Again, I know I need to be more prone to community outreach as far as actually engaging different communities. I've been trying to do more Twitter spaces, just in general, joining other Twitter spaces, making my presence known, answering questions or asking questions like that as well. I'm going to start participating with more project AMAs. I've had offers from a lot of projects, but I've turned down most of them just because I haven't seen it as necessarily beneficial to what we're trying to accomplish here and the brand that we're trying to represent. That being said, I am in talks with a couple larger projects. Might not necessarily be like a direct MBC plug AMA. It would just be like a Meta Captain DeFi AMA. I'm just a special speaker. So hopefully, though, that we can trace all that back into this project here and where it all really comes from. That way, people just connect the dots and they're like, hey, we need to pay attention to this group over here and what they're doing. They're definitely doing something. Um, again, something that I am constantly working on, trying to balance in between everything else. I did have that meeting last night that I talked about with the VR dev, and we have some surprise stuff that we're trying to get out to everybody. Not just the VR AMAs, but we're trying to speed up the schedule at least on some early interaction stuff that we might be able to produce for the community. I think that would go a long way, just for general conversation purposes with newcomers, people that are interested in looking at the project. I think some of them right now are still skeptical on whether or not like we're an actual real VR project or not. Which I guess I can understand that they've been taken so many times before, and they haven't been around since the beginning, like a lot of you guys have. Um, you guys have reason to trust and believe in me. I, we did the pre-sale the way we did. I've delivered on everything I said I would deliver on, and I've stayed open and honest from day one. And it's rare, so nobody ever sees that, nobody ever believes it. So a lot of these new people that are coming around, and they're like, oh, they're lying. They're not actually doing anything. They're not a real VR project. They have really no reason to believe us. So I think trying to get something out as soon as possible, even if it's not like at all a finished product, but just something that's like an early alpha or early beta release that just shows like, hey, they do have serious development ongoing in that direct space, make a big difference for us as far as promoting the project. And whenever people do come and engage, again, like I said, not even like a finished product, just having something available to show that there is real development in that space, I think will go a long way. So that's something that me, Warkyle, and Yanoslav are rushing to the finish line right now. And I know nobody's heard that name, Yanoslav. I'm sorry. His name on here is Bulgarsky. You still probably don't know that name, but he's just a very antisocial VR dev. He works in the shadows, he works in the background, but he has been spending a lot of time actually helping us out lately, building assets, doing 3D renders and modeling, as well as another individual who, actually, I'm not going to share that name yet, but here soon I might have an announcement with another dev that we will be bringing on board, helping us out with some game stuff. That being said, does anybody have any questions or concerns or anything like that they would like to go over this fine evening? Awesome. Well, I had one daily task that I definitely failed on today. I was supposed to get a PO box, and I did not pick that up. So that's going to be on the top of my list. Sorry, I'm saying that out loud because the guy who asked me to get the PO box just joined the chat a second ago. I apologize, man. It's past PO box times here where I'm at, but I'll make sure I take care of that like first thing in the morning, um, like 8:30 a.m. after I get done with roulette. Uh, Anyways, but I don't think that actually affects any of our filing stuff and stuff like that. So hopefully here soon, guys, I'll be able to update you with like the actual, hey, this is our filing results for our LLC, and you'll be able to verify that for yourselves. Oh man, really? All right, everybody. Does anybody have any questions for me this evening? I'm sure somebody can ask something. I'm really I'm really hopeful that this little turnaround that we've seen with Bitcoin and BNB actually goes through and continues to rise up. But I have been doing some analysis myself and looking at the markets, and I am more than prepared for this to be an ongoing slump. Um, and just so we're all here and we're just talking loosely amongst each other, if I were you, I would definitely just prepare yourself for that. That there's a chance that over the course of the next little bit, I can't raise my hand, but yes. Oh man, how's nature not able? Why is this happening to everybody? Can you nominate nature to talk and see if he can come up afterwards? Sorry, but I would prepare myself to see, to just to bear through a little bit of a sluggish market for a little bit. Analysis slow recovery. That's
How you
all I
guys
can.
doing?
I'm good, man.
Chilling. I just wanted to add on to that. Yeah, like for the newcomers that are coming in, like to like just be prepared. Like, things doesn't seem the way it is now, but he's always have kept his word. I've been there since day one, and there has been many opportunities where I was just like, what the fuck? But he does deliver. He does come. He does let you know what's going on. Just be patient. And again, the market is going down. And don't worry, just look at it as a time to buy in and build your position. But other than that, this is a great team. They're very real. They're forward, and any questions you have, I'm pretty sure they'll answer it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm big on answering questions, even the tough ones. I don't think I've ever shied away from a question. A lot of times, whenever I come on in the past, whenever I used to come on board different projects and stuff like that, even if I didn't operate necessarily in the forefront of the community, I was just giving consulting or advisory roles with the project. One of the very first things that I tried to impressionate on anybody is that um, you have to be transparent and forward thinking. Allow the community to ask questions, but even better, try to provide those answers before they even have to ask. There's only been, since the start of this entire thing, there's only been two situations that have ever popped up that I have not actually immediately came out and told the entire community. And one of them was the Brew Labs situation, where whenever I first ended up having to redeploy. And the only reason why I didn't immediately come out and tell everybody about that is because there were just like three people in the pool at the time, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I assumed it'd be best if we went ahead and had everything fixed, and then we put out announcements together. That being said, I went to sleep and I woke up and they had already put out the announcement by themselves, and it had mainly gotten fixed or rectified by the time that I woke up. I put out a secondary announcement after I woke up, but there was only two individuals that needed help with a walkthrough on how to accomplish the removing of the old LP and the placing of the new LP. So there was that situation, and then the other thing that I did not immediately come out and tell everybody about when it happened was the marketing snag that we hit about a week ago. Um, just because I was being led on. Yeah, whenever I was told, hey, like this, instead of being told, hey, we're not going to do this, I just kept getting told, hey, this will be one more day. This will be one more day. So I was literally just going off the information that I had up until finally 3 days later, I found out that, hey, we're not going to do this for you guys at all. We just decided to go a different route. Here's your money back. Very unprofessional individual. I'm not going to name any names right now. That's not how I operate. Uh, but in long story short, outside of situations like that, I'm always going to tell my community first about anything that's going on or anything that I feel the need that they need to know. You guys mean the most to me of everything that I've got going on right now. You all are the reason why I'm here. You all are the reason why we're still operating the way that we are operating, and you guys are the reason that we'll grow moving forward. I'm very acutely aware of that, and I don't take it for granted. I try to deliver on everything that I say I'm going to, um, and I do better than that. I don't try, I do. I deliver on it. If I say I'm going to deliver on it, I deliver on it. I try to hit every deadline that I make. I don't give those deadlines to you guys most of the time because I don't want to let you guys down. But I, I keep you very aware of where I'm at with my development process. Occasionally, I'm not able to give you better details because I don't know them yet personally. And when that is the case, that's what I tell you. Hey guys, I'm not sure yet. Let me figure it out. As soon as I do figure it out, I will let you know. Um, and it's worked so far for us. I think we all feel pretty comfortable with each other, um, all around as the community goes, and I appreciate it. How do I do this? Okay, sorry. Figure it out. I thought I did. There we go. All right, Dre, you're up. I think you are. Yeah, there you are. What can I do for you? you're muted right now. So if there's a unmute button, hit that.
All right,
Are
can
you
you hear me now?
can?
Yeah, I just want to, nature hit it on the nail. We all believe in you, um, and you keep us holding, you know. I currently am in a situation where I need to talk to you also, though, um, about it in a DM, if you don't mind,
Oh,
when we finish here.
yeah, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, see if you can try and help me to straighten it out. But we believe in the project. We've been here from day one, and we're not letting go of anything until, you know. So just
That's
keep
what I
up the
like to
good
hear.
work, man.
That's what I like to hear, guys.
I'm and
And
I'm I'm not worried about the price at all, at all.
yeah, and especially in this kind of market, you can't worry about the price. Not right now. We know where we're gonna go. So I said it the other day. I think I said it on Twitter or something. I know what I'm doing. I know the direction that I'm gonna go. Somebody here in the community asked at one point, like, "Hey, what's the bottom dollar that you guys would be at before y'all stop?" There is no stopping. We started before we had a single dollar raised. Um, and that's the way that it'll continue to move forward. Development on our end is not necessarily completely financial driven. I've been very clear that I do like what I personally enjoy in life is to create things. So I'm going to push this project through no matter what. We are going to create amazing things for people to utilize, and ideally, it works out for everybody, and it happens to be a financial success and a revenue generator. But regardless, it will be created. Is there any other questions that anybody has? Alrighty, guys. Well, I really appreciate you all joining me this evening, and I'll put up an announcement if I am having another chat later on with Brew Labs. As soon as I find out from Maverick what we're doing, I'll announce that to everybody. Just if you want to stop by, whether or not that's midnight tonight, 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, or maybe even late in the day tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. As soon as I know, I'll make that announcement so everyone here knows.